5010, but you can also read that as solo, S-O-L-O. Here's the Evol Shock DPS, ridiculously firm lockout. Basically makes your bike a hardtail, which is good. I mean, if that's what something that you look for in a lockout. This one has Easton wheels. These are aluminum. Pretty sure they're aluminum. I'm not actually sure. They're the ARC 24s. Crazy linkage. Thread and bottom bracket, everybody loves so much. Alright guys, so first impressions of this bike is it climbs a lot better than the Kona Process that I own. This thing is a lot lighter though too. It feels really stiff, kind of everywhere, which is nice. Still kind of just feeling it out. The frame does feel smaller on this bike. It's got a longer stem on it, which kind of puts you more in a forward position, which is good for climbing. I think it's maybe a little more balanced. That's kind of what I'm looking into. Trying to find a bike that maybe climbs a little bit better, or a lot better maybe than what I have. So yeah, I would say it feels pretty good. I'm curious to know how much lighter this bike actually is compared to my Kona. Certainly feels a lot lighter. Can also say that the shock on this thing, it's the Fox Float Evol with DPS, is stiff. I mean, you go over a rock or something and it feels like you got a hardtail. So that's kind of cool. So if you're looking for a shock with a hardtail feel, I think this is the one. You really just feel like all your power is going to the bike. You're not losing any of it. It's kind of nice. I really like that feeling. Some people like to have a little bit of like play to smooth out their climbing, get more traction. I don't really mind any of that. I just like it to be really firm. So I'm liking this shock a lot. But yeah, I like the bike. The real test, I think, is to go downhill with it. Obviously it climbs better, but how much of the downhill performance are we sacrificing is the main question for me. I'm waiting to get to one of these steeper climbs too to really feel the difference. But so far so good. I'm getting some pedal strikes, so I'm not really used to too much. bike just pumps though. This bike's really good. It's really strange. I'm gonna go with this VPP suspension. I took it out of Lockout, put it in wide open, and it really climbs just the same. It feels like it's very strange. It's really soft on all the bumps and stuff, but the power that you put to the pedals just goes right to the back end. So I don't even see the need to put it in Lockout to climb. It's just like really efficient. I'm curious to see what that looks like on the downhill though. I guess we'll see. Feels great so far though, climbs like a dream. This is the CC version of the frame, which is the lighter version. I think it's like a ½ pound lighter than the C version. So yeah, this thing's really light. But yeah, it's pretty sick. It's got a different feel to the Kona. Definitely like a little lean forward more, which is really comfortable when you're going up hills. Kona sometimes feels like you're a little too far back, just a tiny bit, but it's a little bit uncomfortable on long climbs. I guess you get used to it. It doesn't really bother me at all, but this one just feels like you're more upright. So yeah, gonna keep going up and see what it looks like on the downhill. I'm always also really interested in seeing how these guide RSC brakes handle. I've heard a lot about them. I have XT brakes on the Kona, so I want to see what that feels like. The RockShox reverb dropper post, so much nicer than the Integra, the KS Lev one I have. Just everything about it. It's quick, the button feels good. Yeah, the RockShox, I definitely would rather have a RockShox than a Integra KS Lev dropper post for sure. I actually used to have one of these on my old bike, but I ended up selling it with the bike. So yeah, so far so good. It's definitely more of a climber than the Process, but we're gonna have to see how it handles the downhill. But yeah, I'm liking it. I don't know what kind of wheels these are. I don't know if they're carbon or not, but I guess I'll check that out later. Feels a little stiff. Landing that was a little harder than the Kona, but it sure does pump well though, I'll tell you that. Oh, I missed that berm and that one. Let's see how much travel I used. Okay, I used all my travel there. Just about all my travel on the back, which is good. It's about what I'm going to be hitting up at the same speed, so that was pretty sick. Just did that last section. Used up pretty much all the travel on the bike. It felt freaking good though. Really stiff, really quick. I definitely feel up over the handlebars more, which is different. But yeah, it feels damn good. Bottomed it out right there. Felt it bottom. Definitely bottomed the shock out on that last section. I heard it clank. But yeah, man, it's weird with the lighter bike. Like that jump or that little lip would have probably given me, I don't know, 2 feet of air or something like that. Just now I felt like I was 4 or 5 feet in the air. It's like just a lighter bike does that. That was crazy. But I also keep feeling, I keep hitting my pedals on the ground. That was the 3rd time I just did it just now. Not like going fast or any turns, just, I don't know, pedals are a little bit closer to the ground. You should probably get used to that. It's probably just me not being used to the bike. That's all that is, really. Definitely a fun bike. This section's kind of gnarly. Not too shabby. You know what I hate though? I'll show you what I hate. It's this stuff. That stuff drives me nuts. There's these little clips that you can get that clip these cables together. I always do that on my bikes because I hate that. Like, those brakes do feel good. Just have a lot of control. Feels like they have a little bit more feedback, so you can like feel when you're putting pressure on them. Hey guys, here's the bike right here. I just finished riding it. It's pretty kick-ass. It's really stiff. You know, it just rode great. You definitely feel that it has less travel than my Kona. Yeah, it's a great bike.